porque somos latinos. And we tougher than tough, calling your bluff, cuz. We lie, we cheat, we steal. We lie, we cheat, we steal.
Nobody's
we don't care if you like us.
never good.
Everybody wants to fight us. Hey, oye lo claro, we the ones you want to meet. Hay nada más caliente. We're too hot for you. Latino heat, Chavito heat.
Something you can figure out if you actually.
Okay.
We coming from the streets of the ghetto. At the end of the week, we get to keep your dinero. You're fast asleep when we sneak in your guts. Your life sucks when you're bankrupt and we can't trust none of us. Cause Latin. We lie, we cheat, we steal.
And we are go. Welcome back to Temple Radio.
Hello.
Hello. It's the BBC.
It's me. Beautiful.
Brian Curtis.
Oh, nice. That was actually good.
Oh, nice. Too sweet, bro.
You're starting to get it there.
Yeah, oh yeah. I'm a slow learner. That's what I was always told. Anyway,
I'm
it's
excited.
Big Hoss.
I just got a little bit of a chill. I've been excited to be doing this again now.
I know, it's been a while,
I like
man.
being able to talk like this. I like it.
I know, yeah.
Makes me happy.
Took a little hiatus there. Not that anyone
Well,
noticed.
no, no one did notice, but there's stuff that's happening.
Well, how you been? How you been, Brian?
Well, Cody, I've been better. I definitely had a moment of, I think like a lot of people, America has been in a bit of a weird time, and a lot of people, as much as I love wrestling, as much as I love a lot of things, I think a lot of people have been in a weird time. So, I think it's kind of scary for people, and I went through the same thing. And I've come out on the other side a little bit better for it. I'm not happy with the things that have happened in where I live, but I'm going to continue on, and I think that's what every single person needs to do, is to realize that, you know what, even for how long has wrestling been associated with redneck, ignorant,
probably since the
stupid,
beginning, honestly. Like, it's because it started on like carnival circuits, you know.
Exactly.
In small town America.
And, yeah, exactly. And
people were worked into believing, you know, that this strongman that came in was gonna beat up any guy that, you know, volunteered in the audience, and some guy raised his hand and they fought each other, and the strongman seemed to win, and you know, they didn't realize it was the same guy in every town.
And I think there's a stigma still. If you as a wrestling fan, if someone finds out you watch wrestling, you generally get a reaction.
Well,
it might not always be the same.
I'm still actually kind of like closeted. I mean, I'm just now kind of coming out as a fucking wrestling fan, like.
But even more to the point.
You get on my case, like if we're hanging out together and like I like downplay the fact that I like wrestling, like if we're at the bar or something, you're like, no, dude, like you totally like adjust the whole conversation, because and it's disrespectful to the performers and everybody in the business to act like it's shameful. It's not a guilty pleasure. I respect the athleticism. I love the storytelling.
And it's part of that is because of what I was getting at, was that there's a bit of a narrative of it's, you know, ignorance or what have you, that these are the people that enjoy this. Is the people that, you know, they're stupid. They're low class.
I feel like bronies are seen at a higher respect than wrestling fans.
Yes, absolutely.
You know,
yeah,
like when people tell me that they're nerds, and like, you know, you meet these people, you know, that are like, oh, I like Doctor Who, oh, I like Star Wars, LOL, I'm such a nerd.
Yeah.
I'm such a nerd, oh my god.
Well, I'm such a nerd.
I'm such a nerd, I like Star Wars, you know, one of the most commercially viable properties in cinema history. It's such a niche. You know, like, dude, you want to see nerds.
Like,
yeah, like
nerdy counterculture has become mainstream.
It's almost like that.
It's almost like that, isn't it?
But the thing is though, like wrestling has never transitioned into that geek chic thing. Like,
Absolutely
wrestling
not.
is like, when I talk
Well,
when I
it
talk to
rides that
girls
line.
that say they're nerds, I'm like, you want to talk about being nerdy? Like, imagine watching 10 hours of wrestling a week and listening to the same amount of podcasts every week regarding wrestling. Like, 20 hours a week committed just to wrestling and following everything that's happening behind the scenes. Half of it is bullshit rumors that don't even end up being true. That is the fucking nerdiest thing that I've ever heard of in my entire life.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Like, that's, like... I'm not going to say it's beyond, like, a Magic the Gathering or, like, hardcore D&D thing or something like that. It's on that level.
Well...
Absolutely.
And so...
We're fucking nerds.
Absolutely. I completely agree. I always have been. I nerd out on stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I geek out on stuff.
I've always been a nerd.
And I always
geek,
think
yeah.
when I hear I nerd out or geek out, I assume that means obsessing.
It means... I assume it means you're passionate.
Well,
I've never taken it negatively.
Obsessing... that's, I guess... No, I guess I would still use the word obsessing because I do obsess over wrestling. I do constantly look at it, and my brain reminds me to look at it. Even if I go a day... I'm very well aware that I didn't watch Raw. If I don't watch Raw on Monday...
Oh, God.
I
skipped that one week, and I just felt like something weird happened.
I'm very well aware that it occurred.
Yeah.
So...
You don't even look forward to it that much, per se, necessarily.
No, not at all.
Necessarily week to week.
Yeah, no, not at all. Again,
But,
it's not,
but if you miss it...
It feels wrong.
Yeah.
And there's something up, and I don't know, like, that's why I say obsessive.
Well, and also, on top of the 10 hours of watching wrestling and 10 hours of whatever podcasting that we listen to, we also do however much content that we're doing right now.
Yeah.
Actually just talking about
Plus
all of
just the fact
those
that
things.
we're trying to actually build our own community in different ways, and so it's a...
I would say obsessive is
It's
an appropriate word.
One, we've let it bleed into other passions as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but getting back to my main point was that this actually even plays into it even more, is that, yes, that's the thing, is that's what a lot of wrestling fans are now. There's a lot of wrestling fans, like the core wrestling fans, they're nerds.
Right.
And I've heard some people say, oh, that's bad, That's
like, I would say we're pretty fucking good looking for wrestling fan standards. Like, it's a pretty Magic the Gathering crowd that we got going, you know what I mean? Like, there are people, like, I love all of these people, but come on. Like, there's way more attractive wrestling fans than us too, but like, I feel like,
Yeah.
We're also incredibly charming and,
When you have to think about what you're watching, it's supposed to be two athletes competing, I suppose, in a fight, even if you know how it, blah, blah, it's predetermined. But you're watching them, it's like an athletic, you're watching an athletic display. So thus, the more athletic looking and more attractive they are, the more
appealing it is to like the casual viewer.
They're going to appeal. So like those same people are also going to look at every other wrestler in the same light. Not going to read into like...
They've all been conditioned to believe, to see,
Yeah.
Wrestlers look like Hulk Hogan. Wrestlers look like The Rock. Wrestlers look like John Cena.
Yeah.
Like, even, people don't even, like, consider Stone Cold, like, in that, when they think about I mean, I feel like...
No, absolutely, when you talk about, like,
he's, like, all personality,
crossover, yeah.
Yeah. And, yeah, because Stone Cold never really transcended,
he was a wrestler.
He's probably the biggest star that wrestling has ever had that didn't transcend wrestling.
He's the biggest star in wrestling. I would say he's the biggest star in wrestling history. As far, I mean, like in my times, yes, that easily the biggest.
Well,
star
in our
in wrestling
lifetime,
history,
yes.
And also the biggest star in wrestling history to literally have almost zero crossover appeal.
Right, exactly.
It was wrestling fans and people who saw Austin 316 shirts.
Yeah, right. Well, that's very much Daniel Bryan is very much the same story. Like, Daniel Bryan never truly transcended wrestling, but yet hit like sports teams and shit were doing that shit. You know what I mean? But he would never did anything outside of wrestling.
Well, and I think it just kind of it's part of misrepresenting the actual popularity of wrestling because people hide it, because they're
Right.
ashamed of it.
Right,
Because
yeah.
it's assumed that you are some sort of back-assward fuckwit that has no fucking clue about it. You're probably a racist. You're probably white.
No,
You're
like, I will
probably
say...
this. You're probably that. And it's assuming a bunch of shit that it's like, no, this is something that actually is generally unifying with people. And it's something that I will literally throw away any fucking predilections of another person or something, or any judgments I have based on what someone has said in the past.
Yeah.
If I find out they're a wrestling fan, I am so much more likely to like kind of be like, well,
Even if I hate all the wrestlers they like, you still relate to them.
they can hate all the wrestlers I like, and they can have opposite politics of me,
There's more...
and they can have just things I don't like, things I fundamentally disagree with them about, but because they're wrestling fans, I will never, ever have a real problem with them, because I'm like, well, at the very least, at the end of the day, you know how to get away from everything, which is what I was trying to lead up to, is that's why has been going on with, that's what's been going on with me recently, with all the stuff that's been happening in this world recently. I have found that wrestling is so very important to me. Because
you need a break.
It's the one... Recently, wrestling has been the glorious 10 hours I'm spending away from obsessing about real-world issues.
Yeah.
And for a long time, it was the opposite. It was wrestling was distracting me from watching more movies and watching TV shows and reading and shit like that. I'm not saying that any of those are bad.
Yeah, no,
But-
no.
You asked how I was doing. You got an answer.
Yeah.
Also, I got this awesome
Also...
CD that I found from way back in my childhood. That's the WWE Anthology, and it's in fucking damn near mint condition.
Yeah, let me look at that, dude.
Literally looks like it's been opened and like sat somewhere, because the corners are a little roughed and it's been opened, but all the CDs are damn near perfect. And it's got just a hilarious kind of documentation of where WWE was right in like 2000, 2001.
Oh, yeah.
There's like the Attitude Era, and there's like the Federation Era, and then there's the Now Era. It hadn't been Ruthless Aggression yet. And you can just see the beginnings of all that, like Christian and Angle,
There's
and
some...
Lesnar and
Dude,
Undertaker,
yeah,
and,
no,
like,
there's some really good shit on this.
it was
Dude,
like
you got
if
Los
I'm not mistaken,
Boricuas.
the first three, isn't it the WWE Federation theme? Then it's Real American,
Then...
Hulk Hogan, and then Bret Hart, right?
Yeah, then followed by Walkabout by Bushwhackers.
And then it's Jake Roberts, isn't it?
No, it's Together, the Savage Elizabeth Wedding song.
Oh, okay. So, but
And then it's All About the Money by $1 Million Man, and then it's Snake Bit by Jake the
there
Snake.
is Jake Snake. But yeah.
Bad Boy Razor Ramon. No Holds Barred, the theme to the movie. Ultimate Warriors theme.
They have
Bro-
the No Holds Barred theme.
Yeah,
So
dude,
fucking great.
I love you, Brother Loves theme. Cool, Cocky, Bad, Honky Tonk Man. Goddamn. 123, 123 Kid. Dude, I can literally just read the whole thing. And there's 100 songs on here. That's just nuts. That's literally, I didn't skip any of those when I was reading that. That's just classic shit, dude.
Oh, no, absolutely. I mean, I really
I love wrestling, dude. Have I ever mentioned that? Is that not apparent that I fucking love
that
wrestling?
has number 27, Wildcat Sable.
Oh, God. I have a wrestling confession that maybe I'll get into one day about Sable.
Oh, no.
It's a really fucked up, weird story from my childhood.
We might have to. All right, we might have to hear. Well, anyway, what I was gonna say is that I love
That's at the very end.
I love
if
the.
anything.
I love the snapshot of what they were and or thought of themselves at the time. The superstars they included. From exactly 2001, where that company was at right in 2001. The people that they put on. In the as you get Ken Shamrock, the Ultimate, is on there.
Yeah, Dan Severn.
You don't know me. Let's see. There's DEX's Break It Down, Stone Cold, Won't Do What You Tell Me To, Ass Man.
I'm an ass man.
The diamond in the rough, the gold standard for this whole fucking thing, the Brawl for All theme. Because everyone, oh man, nothing
Everyone
better
remembers
than
that
the Brawl
song.
for All. There's the Gold Lust.
Dude, are we just gonna read all the songs?
I mean, no, absolutely not. That's my point. Is it's just you can see through reading this like really Hardcore Holly, Chris Jericho, Dudley Boys, Mark Henry. I don't suck angle. There's the Attitude Era, and then the next one. I mean, there's another angle.
And is the I don't suck thing?
Yeah.
That's like one of the worst things I've ever fucking heard in my life.
And then there's the Now theme, the Ruthless Aggression, the Here Comes the Money, and Billy and Chuck, and
Billy and Chuck, the Now
Yeah.
era.
right. There's the Game, King of My World by Saliva for Chris Jericho. Trish Stratus, 619. I mean, I love it. A Judgment Day theme. A random Judgment Day theme from 2001. Like, I just love, like, the snapshot of, like, this is the anthology.
Yeah.
And they would look back now and probably be like, well, what, are we going to put Billy and Chuck's theme in there? Are we really going to put Billy and Chuck's theme
Billy and
in
Chuck
there?
need to be on the CD.
Like, they...
We already have...
by the way, on the front, is that Shawn Michaels? I can't tell. Is that Michaels?
It looks like
H?
Fire.
Someone.
It looks like Triple H.
I think that's what I thought,
dude,
maybe.
those traps.
Yeah.
Got them traps, dude. That bodybuilder build.
So, well, anyway, let's kind of press on past the anthology, I suppose. What do you tell me? What do you think of WWE films? We kind of have talked a little bit.
If we're talking about,
I want to hear your full.
I've thought
spiel about WWE films.
okay. All right, here we go.
Give it to me, Haas. Give it to me.
Oh yeah. This is why they call me Big Hoss, is because the weight I bring in debates. So, WWE films, pretty much medium grade production company at this point. They tried to make, they've had mild success. The only film that they've theatrically released to any success whatsoever was the original Marine with John Cena, which I've never seen actually, which is funny, considering I'm going to consider myself the authority on this. But
I actually, that's actually one of the few ones I have seen.
what did you think of the Marine?
Was
it shitty?
It.
John Cena's starring movie role, I can't even imagine.
Like, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. It definitely wasn't a good movie.
Yeah.
But
not unwatchable, just kind of like a time waster.
For a wrestling fan,
yeah,
any of their movies I feel like is not a time waster.
Yeah, well,
not unwatchable.
See, that's a perfect example of how we're all biased towards this.
It's a perfect time waster. It's just not unwatchable. They're all, if you're a wrestling fan, you're going to laugh at it.
Yeah,
you're going to find enjoyment in it.
But you laugh at it.
But you're not going to find it.
You're not going to enjoy the film as
you're not going to be touting for it to be making rounds at the next Sundance.
You're not touting for more sequels.
Yeah, you're not trying to. You're not writing petitions to the fucking Academy. So asking why Cena hasn't been nominated for an Academy Award for his work in the Marine.
Well, anyway, the Marine is still going as a franchise. Now the Miz is the Marine or whatever.
Oh my god, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they're Marine 4 or 5 now they're on. Now they just shoot them super cheap in Canada where they can get film grants from the government.
So other than the Marine though.
But other than the Marine, they have 12 rounds, another franchise which was interesting. Just kind of like a Speed knockoff, but didn't do well.
That's the one that has Ambrose in the sequels, isn't it?
12 Rounds 3 is Lockdown, which has Ambrose. 12 Rounds 2 has Randy Orton. I think Randy Orton's in the first one also.
Yeah, I believe he
Or,
is.
no, John Cena's in 12 Rounds. John Cena was also in 12 Rounds. 12 Rounds 2 had Randy Orton in it.
Yes.
That's how, and I've seen 12 Rounds. I whatever.
Lockdown is the one I wanted to see.
Yeah, I haven't seen Lockdown.
I want to see that because I want to see Ambrose.
More of what my opinion goes, like, okay, they made a bunch of, like, lackluster, shitty, essentially, like, straight-to-video action movies. Whatever. They're interesting for wrestling fans. But what's happening now, which I find more interesting, is they're just investing money in productions and, like, trying to, like, work actors
and
into
just
small parts
peppering
and
their
stuff.
wrestlers into
Right,
parts.
exactly. With those dollars and stuff. But they're not controlling it. They're not controlling the actual production now. What they're doing is they're just investing in movies that are actually pretty good, like I'm trying to remember his name. There's the film Oculus is a horror film that just came out, totally made with WWE dollars. Pretty good theatrical horror film. It starred Karen Gillian from Doctor Who. She was Amelia Pond. That was sweet. Also The Call, which is probably my single favorite movie. It had Abigail Breslin and Halle Berry. Yeah, that was directed by Brad Anderson, who actually did Session 9, The Machinist. And it's an excellent thriller. It almost has a plot like a Lifetime film where a girl gets just kidnapped and she's calling from inside the trunk while she's being kidnapped, and the 911 receptionist operator, yes, is trying to figure out where she is, and it's kind of like a almost real-time thing that's happening. Have you seen The Call, Brian? I keep asking you, have you actually seen it?
No, I haven't seen The Call, and I haven't seen Oculus, and
Those are the two best movies that have.
Well, no, and I would say, like, after what you're saying, or to add on to what you just said, Oculus is the one that I wanted to see the most, and literally just have not had the time or opportunity where I've been able to watch it, and I wanted to see it in theaters. And the thing was,
I did see it in theaters.
I wanted to see it in theaters, and I had no clue it was WWE.
Yeah.
Holland, my friend Holland, went and saw it in theaters, and while he was there, he texted me and
was like, WWE films.
He's like, yeah, he's like, this is like, I'm just at this movie Oculus, and it's got WWE films.
The little mark comes
up
on the beginning.
The WWE thing pops up, and he was just like, what the? He's like, they're a wrestler in this? And I was like,
I don't think, I mean, maybe a police officer or two.
Probably someone.
But there's really only two actors in the film. It's just the brother and the sister. And then they flash back to when they were with their parents. But, like, it's really a very small story.
Who's in The Call? David Otunga, right?
David Otunga, for, like, 5 seconds.
Well, I'll say he plays, like, literally, like,
he's like a police officer that's standing around, during a scene. Like, he might have a line, you know, but, like, it's like, are you alright, miss? Like, it's not like...
Are you alright, miss?
Are
you alright, miss?
Are you alright, miss? Are you alright, miss? Oh, Stingray stabbed me right in the heart. Oh, too soon.
Are you going to win me? Any sort of thing. Anyway,
quit talking about Jennifer Hudson.
Yeah, Hudson. But no, The Call was actually, I do remember, was the first one that I saw a trailer for during wrestling programming, and thought, wow, that doesn't look like a total fucking abortion.
Yeah, well, the thing is, though, the plot is, like, very much like you think, like, a Lifetime movie or something. It's like...
well, no, it definitely reminded me
of... It's like a very women-centric...
It reminded me of a partial abortion. Just not a total abortion.
It's really good, though. Dude, Brad Anderson, he did fucking The Machinist and Session 9. God, he did something else that was really good. Very underrated indie filmmaker, though. Makes great films.
There are a lot of them out there, and I also will never hold anything against any filmmaker for doing movies like this, because, god damn it, you have to eat. I get having to
No, I would be proud. I would be proud to make a movie like The Call, though. Like that's where, like, I can talk a lot of shit on WWE films, but it seems like now they're a lot more sound. There is the only reference.
Well, it seems like they've been trying to. If rumors are to be believed, and ports and all that crap. There seems like that's moving.
They're getting smart.
They're starting to move towards doing that kind of entertainment.
Well, and I'm a big horror fan, obviously. Like, I mean, it may not be apparent on the
Well,
podcast
Oculus
yet,
was
but...
up there with, like, the best of the year for a
Yeah,
lot of
no,
people.
I mean, and, like, I won't, like, say, like, it's not, like, one of the best, like, and it's not up there with, like, the Babadook or something like that, but it's, like, a great little thriller. Like, you watch it and you are pulled into it and you're, at the end of the movie, you're just like, oh, was nuts, whoa. You know what I mean? It's not something that's, like, you're gonna watch a million times over, but it's something you should be proud to put your name on. Like, that's something that you should definitely be proud of.
Well, and, I mean, a lot of lists for the end of the year, and what was it, 2015? That came out?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I believe it was. A lot of the lists last year, at the end of the year, you know, you have your best movie lists and shit that come out. And Oculus consistently ranked on
For
almost
2015.
almost every single one you found.
Yeah.
And there'd be disagreements with what Babadook
And It Follows.
It Follows.
Those were the three movies probably that came out that, like, people were like, oh, wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, It Follows and Babadook were the ones that I
would put that
I saw
in exactly
Babadook
that,
and I
that
loved
order.
it.
Babadook,
I saw It Follows way after it came out, but it was awesome.
Great,
even though I didn't see it in the time frame, and I've never seen Oculus. But if it has any sort of semblance to, like, if you're comparing it to, like, best 10 of last year,
yeah,
and it places in the top 3
yeah.
with those two, I would assume it's pretty damn good, because It Follows is fucking amazing.
Well, and honestly, to say a best 10 of last year, like, you'd be hard-pressed to find 10 really good movies that came out last year, like, in horror, you know what I mean?
Well,
like, there's movies that came out that were good and stuff.
I think that we might also be at a point where we don't really know of all the movies that have come out last year.
Yeah, that's true.
There's a lot of movies that probably came out last year that are fucking amazing.
Well, I follow a lot of like, you know, horror production buzz and stuff, but that's not to say there isn't like foreign productions that I'm not hearing about and stuff, you know. Because, you know, like, there was that big French
When did you,
that happened,
just out of curiosity, before we continue, when did you see Your Next?
When did I see it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I bought it, like, I hadn't seen it. I bought it because the buzz looked really good. And I had gone to California, like, when it was in theaters, and there was just shit all over LA for Your Next, like the pig mask and stuff. So I bought it, like, 2 weeks after it came out.
When did you hear about it?
I heard about it, like a few weeks before it came out. I wasn't actually following the buzz at that time.
And when did you go out?
When did I go?
To LA?
Oh, that was August of 2013, I think.
Okay. See, now.
I think it came out. It was like mid-August, and it came out like late August.
No, it came out in like 2007 before The Strangers. It came out before The Strangers. It was on the film circuit before The Strangers.
Really?
Yes, it was on like.
Huh.
It was on like independent. It like was an independent horror movie that had people that had like a following among people who went to festivals and stuff. And then it took them like 4 years to get, or some shit like that, to get it like picked up by a studio.
I mean, and
it just took forever, and they finally got picked. Finally, someone like came and was like, "Oh, you know, I've been hearing a lot about this."
I mean, that makes sense because that's probably along the time where House of the Devil came out.
The movie was very just like, from what I have heard, it was just very quickly cleaned up, and essentially identical to what they did with just like adding extra elements to like pretty it.
Really?
But like, yeah, like it was. It really, like, yeah, like it was.
I didn't get that vibe at all when I watched it. I thought it was a very subtle character piece that like.
No, I mean like that. I'm saying that like it was made for like way less money, so they did some stuff to like make the blood. Like when her head gets chopped off from.
I thought you meant like afterwards they like did things to pretty it up, like make it more commercial or something.
No, I mean,
You-
like, they
yeah.
did things like, when she, like, runs out and gets her head cut off with the wire.
Right.
Like, they made that, like, more vivid for the horror audience.
Yeah.
But there was something that they were like, this is very much perfect movie theater horror.
Right.
And it got picked up and was a hit for it. But that was the thing that a lot of people didn't know about it, was that it had been made since 2007 was when it was made, I believe.
Well, that's one of the rare exceptions of a discovered movie. That
Like, that was
ends up being
one of the
awesome.
reasons I was always so hot on it. It was like, I heard about Your Next before it was in theaters,
Yeah.
and not because it was in production.
Uh-huh.
You know, like, it was like it got picked up by a producer,
Yeah.
and someone produced it, and in theaters,
Unfortunately, Adam Wingard's career is probably ruined now.
well, let's say,
Like he did the Blair Witch, and now everyone hates him because it's considered like a huge flop, I guess. And I still haven't seen it.
Well,
but-
that's silly. Saying everyone hates him is just buying into the same critic crap that.
Well, I mean,
everyone does.
critically he's despised. Yes,
Well,
that's all I'm saying.
he made Your Next, and 3
I
years ago,
like-
a couple years ago, he was the fucking critic hit. So,
Well, no, yeah, no,
it
I
shows
like
that people don't really.
he's part of the new school of horror that I actually really like.
But
Him.
saying that he's hated.
I'm looking for something.
I'll look for something right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Saying he's.
Saying he's despised by everyone.
Yeah, like, I don't. Saying he's hated. Like, he made the Blair Witch. Yes.
It's
great.
just gonna be hard. He's just gonna. Well, that's what happened to fucking John Carpenter.
Who made AI?
Spielberg.
Yeah, Spielberg.
But,
Spielberg
well,
made AI.
I mean,
Spielberg made AI.
yes.
So you
Spielberg
want to
is-
like talk about like, oh well, you can, and yes, I know he did other movies beforehand. Great, blah blah
And
blah.
AI is,
But that's my
AI
point. Is that
great.
like
I don't care what anyone
you
says.
can make but you can make a movie that massively disappoints people. Spielberg of all people
AI
can tell you
should.
can make a movie that massively disappoints people
Yeah.
and still be totally the better for it.
I mean, not to be like a fucking dick, but like we're also talking about Spielberg. You know what I mean? Like Spielberg was long established before that. Like having a hiccup is not unforgivable.
But so having a hiccup when you're only beginning in it is
Well, and Adam Wingard
being Oscar. So like his career is over because he made one movie that the studios probably approached him to make, and probably were trying to capitalize on him to make.
It's not. I feel like you think that I want it to happen.
I don't think you want to. I'm saying that it's.
I don't want it to.
Don't
happen.
take it personally. I'm
Yeah.
just trying to-
No. I really like Adam Wingard. That's why, like, I'm genuinely interested in seeing the Blair Witch because as much as it's getting panned, like, I'll always give that guy a chance. You know what I mean?
It was pretty bad.
Oh, you saw it?
Yeah, it was crappy.
Oh.
But that again, okay, but that's what I'm saying. This is typical.
What happened?
This is typical Hollywood
Yeah.
bullshit where you focus away
It is typical Hollywood
from
bullshit.
the fact that who had Okay.
What happened to Carpenter is Carpenter had some hits. He made Halloween. It was a fucking smash. He made a couple movies before that. He made Halloween. It was a smash. Did some smaller movies. It was all good. Everything was cool. Then he made The Thing, and it happened to come out on like
the wrong weekend.
Yeah, the wrong weekend, going against E.T.
Yep.
And it was considered a fucking terrible piece of shit,
Yep.
and it blacklisted him, and it fucking essentially his career never was the same afterwards. Like he made a few good movies after that, but he was never able to like get the financing he needed to like make his dreams, and that's what I'm afraid is going to happen to Adam Wingard. It's not that my opinion against him. Like I think he's a very competent, very talented director.
Oh well, no, but this is what I was getting at was that again, taking it personally. It's not about your opinion.
I'm not taking it personally.
That's what I'm saying. It wasn't what I was saying. Was
Yeah.
I was getting mad about wasn't about the what you think of it.
Yeah.
It's that people are fucking actually giving a fuck. And it relates back into wrestling very much so, where people can't be in a goddamn situation for more than a fucking year before people just shit on them
Yeah.
and just say how much they suck. And it's like he's made 2 Hollywood movies in the fucking system. It's like, gee, can you find me anyone who's made a movie and then later was like, I really didn't like that I had to be attached to that movie because I felt like what I made was massively gutted by the studio.
Oh yeah. Well, and like I said,
Is there anyone you can think of at all that's ever like renounced a movie because they were gutted by the studio?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot.
So yeah, that's my that's my point. Yeah, is that I hate that blaming of saying, to bring it into a little bit of form is Elias Sampson fucking like just people that have just like straight up like just he's a fucking shit wrestler. It's like you haven't seen him.
Yeah.
You've literally seen, like, you've given him you can count on the amount of times you watch him on TV on your 2 hands and feet. Like, it's like you're gonna give him fucking, like, what, 10 chances to get over?
Right.
I mean, you're talking about
That's
a business
not how
that used to be
wrestling works.
a nightly thing.
Yeah, right.
And you used to go around, like, it's like, you can't just expect him to hone his craft doing tri-weekly appearances on NXT.
Right, like, yeah, just popping up every
And
once in a
doing the
while.
house shows where they have more fun and can kind of like do stuff, but it doesn't mean anything to the actual character that you see. And he's gotten better. He had like I definitely didn't like him when he started, but he's gotten better. But it's just giving a chance.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know. Seems like a kind of something that's happened a lot recently.
Yeah, definitely. Shit. Well.
Oh, no, nothing else to say? You good?
I mean, yeah.
No, I was giving you a
That
chance to like finish up.
Oh, no, I mean-
you know, no thoughts on.
On the movie thing, like, I mean, it's hard to get investment in films now, and the crowdfunding thing is becoming more and more of a viable option. But I'm just afraid. It's not that I don't mean to sound like a pessimist. It's just like, as someone who, would like to be a filmmaker one day, like, the idea of like seeing someone that you respect like fall objectively or like get panned critically, like, it just hurts me. It does affect me personally a little bit, because I believe in what these people are doing,
Which is awesome. Now think about this before we go, just to like put out one little sec before we take a break.
Yeah.
Think about this. That's how you feel as a filmmaker. Okay. If someone gets panned, you kind of like, you're not giving them a chance, this and that. How do you think wrestlers feel? Not only just like a wrestler who gets panned and not allowed to get over based on his own merit and ability and time. How do you think the wrestlers feel that see people who they know are good and who they know have ability, or people who they just want to like and they just want them to be able to do, and fans actively reject them, not based on merits but based on character and booking decisions?
Yeah, that's
it's the epitome of the studio.
well, it's epitome of hypocrisy of what I'm talking about, really. Like,
Well, I mean, to me, it's an exact like comparison to like the studio versus like the director.
yeah.
How many times has the studio, the
Fuck
WWE,
the director. Yeah.
gone in and completely destroyed and fucked over
Or how many times is a bad
or
director?
a director?
How many times has a bad director fucked over a cast of performers in a story?
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
insane
Yeah,
about them.
it's all about like the leadership, and it all starts from the top.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's the thing, is just anytime you see
I promise I will give Elias Sampson a chance for you.
I appreciate that. And my main point before we take this break is just to everyone is to remember every time you see someone that you don't appreciate, like that you don't like, always remember that we live in a time where business has been totally fucking exposed and decimated. So if we're going to have to live with that, we need to at least remember that the people we need to blame are not the wrestlers. We need to not punish them and not boo them and
Blame
cheer them
creative, not
based
the
on that. Yeah,
performer.
you need to hate the creative, but you need to do everything you can to support the wrestler. And yes, that means Roman Reigns. If you don't want to cheer for him, I get that. You don't have to. But it means not just blatantly booing him just to be a dick. He did nothing to deserve that, and neither did
It's not
any
Roman's
other.
fault.
Most of the wrestlers that people...
I'm no Roman Reigns fan, and I will say it's not Roman's fault.
Me either. I am not. And a lot of people. I mean, you can come up with a whole list of people who are disliked by people, but they are not over and they're disliked in the community because people just want to blame creative, but they only want to blame creative when it's convenient for what fits their opinion.
Right.
And that's the way the world works now. We are going to be right back. BBC.
Big Hoss, dab out.
Temple Radio.